What's up? Welcome to my channel, Bree the Womanican. I am Bree. I remember about, oh my gosh, 7 years ago now. I was walking in the park with my, at the time, boyfriend, and I had just lost my job. And I still had bills to pay. I still had rent. I had a car note, had a phone bill, had lots of other bills to pay. One thing that really brought me peace and still does to this day is walking in nature. And there was like nobody there. I mean, the park was like so empty, which I love. But I just made a comment on how empty the park was. And I was like, man, it feels like the apocalypse has happened. And he was like, wouldn't that be peaceful? And I was like, what? He was like, just for a second, picture it. Picture if, the apocalypse had happened. And I looked up into the sky and there were no planes up overhead. There was only the sound of the wind blowing through the trees and birds chirping. And I felt so at peace. There was no car note due, no rent that I had to figure out how I was gonna get it. There were no roommates that I hated. I was at peace. Which is why I can understand oh my God, I just now realized this light is bright as hell. I think that's better. I guess I'll just look like a ghost in the beginning. Which is why I can understand why so many people were so eager for the rapture to come and were so disappointed when it didn't. Unless the rapture did come. I'm recording this on October 6th. So I don't know, maybe something happened, but I guess this is for the people, those of us who'll be left behind. I know my atheist ass is getting left behind. But what I did want to talk about in this video is, why do people need the rapture to happen? Now, if you don't know what the rapture is, that explains why you've been left behind. But it is a Christian belief about the end times where living believers will be caught up to meet Jesus Christ in the air at his second coming, along with resurrected dead believers. So not all Christians believe in the rapture. I was raised non-denominational Christian. There's a lot of mix of faiths going on. You can learn about that in my atheist video about how I became an atheist. But it was kind of something that was assumed was part of Christianity, but we weren't like doomsday preppers. We didn't prepare for the end of days. My grandma would always say things like, things are bad now. They say these are the last days. And other people in my family used to say that too, that we were living in the end times and things were somehow worse now than they ever had been, despite the fact that infant mortality and overall mortality is at an all-time low, and we have cures for diseases that don't even really exist anymore. The plague is not even a thing anymore. When it was killing like 1 in 3 people just like 600 years ago? Crazy stuff. But apparently we're living in the end times. Anyway, but if you don't know what the rapture is, a little bit about the controversy between Christian faiths is, believers in the rapture, mainly found among evangelical Protestants, interpret certain New Testament passages, particularly 1 Thessalonians 4:16 to 17, and parts of Matthew 24, as describing a future event where Christians will be suddenly caught up, there goes that awkward phrasing, to meet Christ in the air before a period of tribulation. This view became especially popular throughout the 19th century teachings of John Nelson Darby, and later spread widely through the Scofield Reference Bible and the Left Behind book series, which was a thing for Gen X and elder millennial people. I never read it, but Left Behind is a series of apocalyptic fiction co-authored by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins about the events of Christian end times prophecy, beginning with the rapture, where millions of believers vanish, leaving others to face a post-apocalyptic world, and the rise of the Antichrist. Oh, he has a name. Is it Nikolai Carpathia? I didn't know the Antichrist had a name, but I guess he does in the series. The series follows the Tribulation Force, a group that includes airline pilot Rayford Steele. Dear God, if that doesn't sound like the most conservative, hetero, Caucasian name I've ever heard for a book. Dear God. Ugh. And journalist Buck Williams. These names are so bad. As a person who is an avid reader and a writer myself, these are the worst names I've ever heard in my life. As they resist the Antichrist's global tyranny, find faith and await the second coming of Christ. Fascinating stuff. I didn't read it. There's a movie based on the books that features Nicolas Cage. Other Christians do not believe in the rapture because Catholic and Orthodox traditions have never taught this as doctrine. They generally interpret the relevant passages as describing the second coming itself, not a separate rapture event. The rapture as a distinct doctrine is relatively modern. It's from the 1800s, which makes many Christians skeptical that it represents authentic Christian teaching. Many Christians read passages like 1 Thessalonians as metaphorical or as describing Christ's final return, not a secret removal of believers beforehand. And some worry that the rapture theology encourages escapism rather than engagement with the world's problems, which is the point of this video. My house stinks. I went on vacation for a few days and my automatic litter box broke, so the cats just kind of peed places, and I don't think I found all the places. So I'm sure many of you will have already heard that there was supposed to be a rapture scheduled for just 2 weeks ago, September 23rd through the 24th. So what had happened was a South African pastor named Joshua Maklela, also known as Brother Joshua, claimed that in 2018, Jesus appeared to him in a vision and told him that the rapture would occur on September 23rd or 24th of 2025. And it would coincide with Rosh Hashanah, or the Jewish New Year / the Feast of Trumpets.
To the people who are opposing my message, this is what I have to say to you. On that day of the 23rd, who is God going to back up? You or me? The date of the 23rd, which is going to be the rapture of the church, this date is irrefutable.
It's final.
It is final. This date cannot be disproven. In fact, no one has disproven this date, because the words that are coming out of my mouth are coming straight from the mouth of the Almighty God.
This prediction gained a lot of traction on TikTok and eventually went viral, particularly amongst evangelicals who were using the hashtag Rapture Talk. And it was crazy. As you are probably wondering, when nothing happened on the 23rd or 24th, Brother Joshua himself hosted a live stream after midnight on September 24th saying, "Please keep waiting with us. He is coming." And after the dates completely passed, Brother Joshua came back and said, actually, God uses the Julian calendar and we're using the Gregorian calendar.
I'm 1,000,000,000% sure that the rapture is going to happen on the 23rd and the 24th of September 2025. But when you cross over straight from this Feast of Trumpets to our Gregorian calendar, it will put you on the 7th and the 8th of October. Now listen. To me, who was asking God, where's your part? I did my part. I delivered the message. Why you didn't rapture the people? God was not talking about our current Gregorian calendar, but he was talking about the Julian calendar that Jesus was being used when Jesus was walking on the earth.
So we just kind of got our dates mixed up. But the rapture is totally still coming, but it's going to be on the 7th or the 8th. But it's totally still happening. So this is just the very latest in a very long history of failed rapture predictions. There have been literally hundreds over the centuries with a 100% failure rate. Several Christian writers have been responding to this, pointing out that Jesus himself said in Matthew 24:36 that no one knows the day or hour of his return, not even himself. So why? Why do people keep doing this? Why do people keep trying to predict the rapture? Most importantly, why the hell do people want the rapture to come anyway? Why do they want the world to end? I don't want the world to end. My dog lives here. I don't know. They did say all dogs go to heaven, so maybe she would be all right. So before we dive in, full transparency, I'm an atheist. I have not been a religious person or a Christian in over 10 years now. I made a couple of videos about my deconstruction journey. I will link those if you want to check those out. Also, I am not a theologian. I have a degree in fine arts, okay? I'm not a psychologist. This is just me being a regular person speculating as to what could be going on inside of these people's heads. I'm not trying to diagnose anybody, just wanted to put that out there. Also, I'm not here to mock or question anyone's intelligence. A lot of people are making decisions here based off emotional reasons and honestly a lack of education. And I actually think that the fact that so many people want the rapture to happen is sad. And there's actually one lady in particular that's actually super sad. So there was a lot of people who were completely bought into the idea that the rapture was happening. People were talking about seeing 923 everywhere. Somebody referred to them as license plate prophets or something like that. The people who kept seeing 923 on the backs of license plates.
17th of September today. Alright, I took it at 2:49 p.m. There's a 9, which is the 24th of the 9th or the 24th of September. And then you've got a 923 here, which is September 23, so 23rd to the 24th.
I will say, as a person who loves seeing my birthday, I'm always seeing my birthday on the back of license plates or on mailboxes. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my birthday. I just am gonna notice that. So obviously, if you're looking for something, especially if you've been completely consumed by something, that's not surprising that you're gonna be seeing it everywhere. That's quite normal. In fact, in one of the videos, the lady said, I told God if he could just send me a sign that the rapture was coming, just send me a ladybug. And she said that day she saw a red beetle, like the car. And you know what's crazy? Bitch, I saw a ladybug right there on this ottoman. And bitch, I can't tell you the last time I seen a ladybug. And then I went outside to watch the moon rise because it was beautiful. And a red bug was driving up the street. And I can't remember the last time I seen a red beetle, the car. And guess what, bitch? That had nothing to do with anything. It's literally because she said it, and so now I'm on the lookout for it. I'm pretty sure I've seen a ladybug sometime in the past. Maybe not a few days, but maybe like months or something. I don't know. That's the thing is, I don't know. I wasn't looking for it before. So people did a lot to prepare for the rapture. People were getting rid of their possessions. There is one guy who posted a viral TikTok of him selling his car.
Guys, I'm saying goodbye to my car. I've had it for 5 years. They're taking it. Oh, this is my baby, man. This has been my baby for years. 5 years. But she's gotta go. I won't need her beyond September because I'm going home to where my Father in heaven is. I'm catching a flight to heaven in September anyway. I won't need the car. Roar!
People were giving away money.
Okay, y'all, so like, I promise, I'm not laughing at, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody's beliefs or anything like that, but I'm driving Uber, right? And so I picked up this couple from church, and they get in my car, and, they're weeping. And so I'm like, hey, is everything okay? They were like, yeah, the Lord is coming back. Jesus is coming back tomorrow. And I was like, wait, like tomorrow? They're like, well, how are you? Is everything okay in your life? Like, we're trying to donate our money because we're not going to be here. The Lord is coming back, and we're going to leave, and there's still going to be people here on earth, and things are going to change. I said, I'm okay, but I could always, use some help. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to turn down. That's what they were like. We were in church, and we prayed like, Lord, we're going to order this Uber, and whoever our Uber driver is, we know that this person is going to need this money. So they give me like this bundle. So it's like a bundle full of cash. Now keep in mind, in this bundle, there's even coins in it because it was like in this like cup thingy or whatever. So there's even like euros, and I see some Canadian money in here. So there's dollars, there's hundreds, there's 20s, there's fives, like there's all the denominations inside of this. Okay, so I counted the money. It turned out to be $1,915 and some change. I didn't count all the change. It was probably more. So $1,915.
People were posting videos of them saying goodbye to their children.
I am so honored to be your mommy. You have been such a gift, and I will see you in heaven.
People were leaving out detailed instructions for loved ones and for other people who were going to get left behind.
We have a door going to our basement that has a code, so you can't just go in there, but I did write the door code on there. I put this little note up here, but this is our stockpile of food and stuff. So someone's going to be pretty set.
One lady was telling people to leave your phone unlocked so people can go into your notes and read any notes that you've left.
Don't forget to unlock your phone. If you are a pre-tribber like myself and you truly believe that Jesus is going to come and rapture his church here possibly within the next week, if not any day now, don't forget to unlock your phone, because I know a lot of people are writing letters or maybe even just doing things on their phone, like in the notes and whatever. Unlock your phone. Like, I couldn't do that because I have bills to pay. I still need that information. So I just wrote my phone, my code on a piece of paper with a little message, and I took a picture of it and I made that the screensaver on my phone.
People were super bought in. My thought is like, though, can children not get raptured? Because there were a lot of people who were saying goodbye to their children.
So I am super persuadable, and I've been I've been on Rapture Talk for like the past, I don't know, hour. If the rapture is gonna happen in a few days, but they say it's gonna happen, that means I only have a few days left with my kids. Oh my gosh, I'm literally crashing out right now. What the fuck, dude?
I'm like, are children not innocent enough to get raptured? Why do you think that your grown ass is about to get raptured and your kids are about to be here? Oh my God, Papa Was a Rolling Stone has been stuck in my head since I have been putting this video together, because the first line of that song is, "It was the 3rd of September." And it's just stuck in my head. Oh my God, I hate having ADHD. Oh my God, somebody get it out. This man is just back here like fucking playing with fire. God, he's just staring into the flame. Should I stop him? Some of y'all gonna be like, yes. See, figured it out. I had a lot of secondhand embarrassment for the people that were publicly talking about the rapture. People were ecstatic. They wanted it to happen bad.
Today is the day!
We're actually getting raptured. I was getting ready to post on social media, and as I was doing this, listen to this.
This guitar is a go. No, that's not a guitar. Silly me. That's a trumpet.
Ezekiel 33 says, if you hear the trumpet and you don't warn the people that the sword is coming, you will be held accountable. We don't have any time left. Cleanse your robes of unrighteousness. Remove anything from your life that's not of the Lord, and repent. Repent right now. And I just felt really embarrassed for them after it didn't come. A lot of people, you could tell there was a little cope going on. They were like, so what? The rapture didn't happen. I'm fine. I'm still here. Everything's fine. I'm like, bitch, you was just crying saying you can't wait till the rapture gets here. And now you're trying to act like you just all cool with it. Come on now. Another issue that I have too, and I'm going to get to the main point of the video, but I do want to discuss some other things as well, is using dates to predict divine events anyway. People come in and they talk about these dates and they say, oh, well, 9 is the number of blah, 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 and 10 is the number of blah, blah, blah. All these dates have meanings. Well, these dates are arbitrary. We assign certain numbers to the Earth's position around the sun, but the orbit is a circle. There is no beginning and no end to a circle. Every date that we have attributed to a certain position that the Earth has around the sun is arbitrary. The first of the year can literally fall on any day. It doesn't have to fall on January 1st. That's just the date we all agreed on. That's why multiple different cultures have had their own calendars. Egyptians, Chinese, famously the Mayan calendar. I don't know if everybody remembers when the world was supposed to end in 2012. That was a big deal. Some people are doing math, like extensive math problems to divine the numerological meanings for what is happening.
The reason why I believe it will be 2025 is from 70 Jubilees from when Israel entered the promised land. It is 2025. That's the 70 Jubilees. 70 times 49 from when Israel entered the promised land comes to 2025.
It's called biblical numerology, or gematria. It involves assigning numerological values to words or phrases within texts to reveal hidden messages, prophecies, or historical information. It is often associated with a belief that codes and ciphers are associated into texts, including the Bible, to provide specific information, such as about the rapture. So, people are over here counting up letters and words and phrases, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, I want to know, which words and phrases are you using? Which version of the Bible are you using? The math isn't mathing, like literally. But like I said, the whole thing about the dates being very arbitrary, people should have realized that when Homeboy came back and said, actually, we were using the wrong calendar. Why would God not use the dates from the calendar that people are the most familiar with? Even if the rapture did happen, why are people who believe in faith and in religious texts, why are they okay with God essentially being the Riddler? Why are they okay with that? You would think that God wants you to be saved. He wants to save your soul. You only get this one life. Life is already really hard. Why would he not make it so that you know exactly what you need to do to be saved? Why is God saying, riddle me this, Batman? If there are 3 words in this passage that add up to the number 18, and then there are 5 letters in Jesus' name, 5 plus 18 is what? It doesn't make any sense. Why would somebody view God that way? Also, completely off topic, Jim Carrey's Riddler is one of my favorite Batman villains of all time. So you can fight me in the comments below. I loved him so much with his old creepy skinny ass. Despite all of what I said about the logic not making sense, I still understand why people want the rapture to happen. I get it. Life is so hard. There was one woman I mentioned in particular that lost her husband, and she was talking about being reunited with him in heaven, and it was incredibly sad.
So much of the body of Christ is under so much warfare, and I am struggling so bad in so many ways. It's to the point where it's like, what else can go wrong? I keep looking at everything like, this can't matter. This must not matter. Maybe this is happening because we're about to be raptured, and it doesn't matter if I don't have XYZ, or this is happening because we're going to get raptured in a week or a month. I'm really believing and hoping that we will be gone, but everything is falling apart. We're just struggling in every way possible. And I just keep going through these really dark moments where I am feeling like I cannot get out of bed. I cannot keep going. And I just keep crying out to the Lord and asking him just for the strength for this day. I'm posting this because I need prayer. Majorly need prayer. I keep going and having these breakdowns when these things keep happening because it's every single day. I see no light at the end of the tunnel. There are so many problems in so many different categories that I feel like there's no other solution but to get raptured. God, I know you're the solution, but the enemy is yelling in your other ear, telling you that you're a fraud, you're a fake Christian, you have nothing together in your life, you have no business sharing the gospel, you have no business trying to help others because your life is an utter mess. And I just need the Lord to intervene because he's the only one who can solve all of these problems.
You could tell she's going through it. Her husband passed away. She's got kids, small kids. She's going through it. And that's why I don't think making fun of her is, or making fun of people like that, I just don't think that's productive. Not every person who believes in the rapture or wants the rapture to happen has a terrible life. There are some people who have just been so bought into the religion that you can't convince them otherwise. I think that there is definitely something to be said when you are completely bought in on something and how easy it is for reality to shift around that thing. I'm sorry, I keep moving around my hair. I don't know what to do with it. It's like it's so long now. You know, some of you might have hair down your back and you're like, your hair is not that long. It's long to me, okay? Anyway, but back when I was like very into Christianity, this was like probably the most Christian I ever been. I was like going to church pretty regularly. I was doing Bible study with this girl that I met at school. And around this time, I used to have a lot of like hell dreams, like dreams that I was going to hell, and I was like terrified. And that was really what was fueling all of this. And I was probably having dreams about hell. I say this in all of these videos because I had started touching myself, okay? And I was having some non-heterosexual thoughts, okay? I like got super into my religion, which was Christianity. And part of that was I used to hang out with this girl who her mom was a pastor and all this stuff. And in my journey, I learned about the Illuminati and how they were putting demonic spells in, and they were trying to possess you through music. And they named all the people that were in on it, and like it was like Beyonce and Jay-Z and basically everybody that I listened to. And they were saying like it was because Satan and had some connection to music, and that's what it was. It was part of the entertainment industry and all that stuff. And really it was like only gospel music doesn't have that's the satanic message. And I was so bought in, okay? I was like, oh my God. And I tried to stop listening to music and only listen to like gospel music, and that was really hard. You don't want to listen to only gospel music all the time. And so I went to this friend and I told her, you know, like this is like a week of me being completely in it. I felt like I could actually hear the demons in the music, and they were like, yes, Brianna, you know you want to listen to Empire State of Mind. You know you want to listen to some more Jay-Z, don't you? I think Jay-Z was like the biggest one. Hold on. It's like 12 a.m. I'm just looking out to make sure I don't see no naked fellows floating out there, because apparently the rapture is supposed to be happening right now. I don't see nothing. It's nighttime though. I don't know. It's 12:03. I'm gonna give it a second. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. But then I went and I told the girl that I used to do Bible studies with, I was like, I just learned about the Illuminati and it's how it's in all the music, and I was telling her all this stuff, and she was like, I don't believe in none of that. And I was like, what? And she said she didn't believe in any of it. Her mom was a pastor, and this girl was very Christian, okay? She believed in God a lot. And I was like flabbergasted, because I'm like, if this Christian girl doesn't believe in it, then it must not be real. I stopped worrying about it and I started listening to music as normal, and wouldn't you know it, all of that demonic shit and feeling like I was going to get possessed by music went away. I feel like it just goes to show you like how caught up in something that you can be, and that shit feels real when you're going through it at the time. And then there's this whole issue of, why fix the planet if God's just going to destroy it anyway? Why recycle? Why care about deforestation? Why care about preserving species? If God's going to just destroy everything, then what's the point? If this life is temporary anyway, who cares about future generations if there's not going to be any future generations? My grandkids won't need a livable planet because they'll be raptured. And if we're talking about social justice and systemic change, why fight for social justice if God's going to judge everybody anyway? Inequality won't matter in heaven. We're going to all be butt-ass naked up there. Well, I guess those of us who make it. I don't know what the obsession with being naked in the rapture is. I don't know. Is that in the book? I mean, I know the rapture is actually not in the book, but why reform systems that are just gonna get broken down anyway? This world is too far gone. God has to destroy it. Wars, famine, disease. These aren't problems to solve. These are signs to look out for so that we know that the end times are here or near. Not only that, but these are the things that must happen. So why prevent them? Human suffering becomes like a checklist for proving that you're right about the rapture's timeline, actually wanting things to get worse because it confirms your beliefs. There are a lot of people who support Israel simply because of prophecy fulfillment, not because of actual human rights. I know some people are excited about meeting Jesus. There's a girl who was making a list of the apostles that she wanted to meet. You know, John was pretty popular with the people who wanted this to happen. Your life's gone to shit. Your health's gone to shit. You lost people. These are all great reasons to want the rapture to happen. And it's really unfortunate because a lot of these people who are super happy and believing in the rapture are very conservative, and they are voting for right-leaning policies that are just making their life harder, making it harder for them to be able to take care of their children, making it harder for them to get the medical needs that they have fulfilled. And it's really sad. There are people out here living paycheck to paycheck that can barely afford to feed themselves, that can barely afford to feed their children. I'm sure they want that to go away. There was one woman who said,
I really, really do believe that this is happening next week. I'm not going to say 100% that it will, but the confirmations that God has given me seems to be pointing to next week. My husband wanted me to request off work for September 23rd. So I requested off and it was denied. And I wasn't stressing about it, but Thursday in the car, I prayed and I asked God, whenever the rapture happens, whether it is next week, next month, next year, can you please just arrange things where I can be home with my family when it happens? Not on the road, not at work, just please let me be home with my family. I asked that he would let the car not start or send bad weather or something where work would be canceled. Just throwing out some options like he doesn't already know. But those were the options I suggested. About 4 hours later, I was fired. A month ago, they gave me 2 extra PTO days because I had been doing such a good job. And I was fired for something that has been going on for over 6 months, but suddenly became a problem now. I wasn't mad about it. Instead of being upset about not having a job, all I felt was peace. It was just another confirmation. Instead of being at work next week, I'm going to be home with my family the entire week.
Life is hard. There's a lot of people losing their jobs right now. We're currently in the middle of a government shutdown. It's affected my job because I work for a government contractor. If it goes on for too long, my job could definitely be in jeopardy. There are some people at my company who've already lost their jobs. And so they got to figure that shit out. People's skills are getting outdated. More and more jobs are getting automated. Entire industries are just collapsing. But the rapture means that God will provide. In fact, the date that the rapture was supposed to happen, I felt deathly ill, did not know the rapture was happening until like a week after that happened. The day before, I did a project for work and I got chewed out for it. My manager didn't like it. My director didn't like it. And we were in a meeting with me and like 5 other people, and they were just tearing my work apart. And I was so embarrassed. And I was scared because I was worried about my job. And actually, my year anniversary at my job was the 23rd. And I had a whole mental health crisis that day. I called my mom and I cried. And then the next day, I was fucking sick as shit. I was completely weak. And I think that my body gets like that whenever I get extremely stressed, especially with work. Would I love to never feel like that again? Girl, bitch, yes. Would love to never be stranded on the side of the road again or have to deal with another person dying that I love. I would love to never have to deal with that shit again. There are people out here who are depressed, who are going through some serious mental health crises. And I think they need to talk to somebody. They got to figure that shit out. For those people that are wanting it for that reason, that are trying to escape, that issue's going to be there tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And I really hope those people get help. Life is scary, and life sucks. I think my mom really sheltered me from a lot of the hardships growing up. I mean, I knew we were poor, but I don't think I really knew how bad it was until I became an adult. And I was like, man, I don't know how you did this. This shit sucks. Being poor sucks. Living paycheck to paycheck sucks. But I think that there's some people out there who are dealing with some real demons inside their mind. Not literal demons, but they're dealing with some mental demons. And I really, really, really hope they get the help they need. Going to a therapist, I think, would help for a lot of people. And I think that the only thing I could tell a person like that is being vigilant with their health. Seek help. Seek the right type of help. Obviously, I'm not a religious person. If you are a religious person, I think you got to do all of the things. If you want to talk to your pastor, or hell, if you want to talk to a freaking tarot reader, if you want to talk to a freaking somebody who's going to read your palm, do that, but also do the other shit. Talk to a therapist. Get on some meds if you need them. Obviously, I can't offer you any medical advice. I'm a person that I'm going to try whatever I think will help me. I've been on antidepressants before. They didn't really work for me, but I know they work for other people. I had to really get to the crux of my depression, and the crux of my depression was caused by my ADHD. Like, once I started managing my ADHD, a lot of other shit in my life started falling in line. Talk to somebody who can give you the right advice is all I can say. I know what it feels like to just want to quit and to stop. There are definitely some times where I've just been like, okay, I'm just ready to be done. But I definitely think if you have a support system, reach out to your support system. If you don't have a support system, see if you can find a support system. There are lots of places online. Try to be more active in your area. Right here, volunteering is great for people. I wish I had more time to do it. So what's going to happen now? They might try to push out the date again. Some people might try to move the goalposts, as it were, and say like, well, it was more of a spiritual rapture. That's what people said when 2012 rolled around and the world didn't end. They were like, well, it was more like a spiritual ending. It was more like a metaphorical ending. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. You know, the majority of the people who believed in this rapture will still probably be Christian after this is all over and everybody is still here. They're very bought in. I feel like that's the term of the day, is bought in. I can't imagine them like changing overnight. I think a lot of people will probably be depressed. I think a lot of people will be disappointed, but I think a lot of people will get over it because you have to continue to keep living your life. But I think that they'll go back to who they were before. They'll still be just as Christian. They might still believe in the rapture. I don't know. As for the people who are saying the world is worse now, these are the end times, I think there are people who think that because of the 24-hour news cycle. You're constantly seeing terrible things happening on the news. But let me tell you, people were always getting murdered. People were always getting raped. That stuff was always happening before. You just have a lot more access to it now. I don't believe that the rapture is real. I don't believe any religion's real, but I do believe that people's pain is real. And I do believe that their need for escape is real. There have been plenty of times where people thought the world was ending. People thought the world was ending during COVID. People thought the world was ending in 2012. People thought the world was ending during the world wars. And people are going to keep predicting the rapture, and people are going to keep believing that the rapture is coming, and people will keep needing it to be real. And I think I get it. Anyway, I think that's really all I have to say on this topic. Sorry. Big stretch. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are. And if the rapture did happen and we all got left behind, what's up? You know, like, guess we're gonna be figuring this shit out then. But if the rapture didn't happen and it's a boring ass weekday like it's gonna be, then I don't know. Anyways, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you wish to do that. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, thumbs down if you don't. Let me know your thoughts about the rapture. What do you think? Do you think that it's actually gonna happen and the date wasn't properly predicted? What do you think about all the people who need the rapture to happen? People who are trying to escape their lives. What do you think about the people who sold all their stuff? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you next time.